So let's go to that story. Substantial snowfall over large parts of the Eastern Cape necessitated the closure of a number of high-lying mountain passes in the province. 2 single vehicle accidents were also reported, but so far no injuries.
The Wapetsberg Pass between Graaff-Reinet and Kruidhoek and the Loosberg Pass between Graaff-Reinet and Middelburg were closed to traffic today. Traffic officials also kept a close eye on the roads, including the Penhoek, Barkley and Carlton Heights passes.
The Loosberg Pass as well as Wapetsberg Pass, the situation there is so dire that authorities have been forced to close those roads. We are calling on road users and motorists in particular to obey the rules of the road at all times and ensure that they are safe.
Snow in the high-lying areas like Rhodes and Barkley East are an annual occurrence during this time. But this year, even lower-lying towns like Middelburg were dusted. The snow fell over large parts of the province, including areas in the Karoo.
We woke up this morning in a wonderland, snow white and cold. We haven't had snow in town for the last 10 years.
A minibus taxi overturned near Barkley East and one on the Penhoek Pass due to the slippery conditions. There were no injuries in both accidents. SABC News in the Eastern Cape.
So motorists, as we have mentioned, are being urged to be extra cautious on the roads this weekend, especially along the N3. The South African Weather Service is warning of high winds, increased snow, as you've seen in those pictures, and resulting in delays on the roads. The operations manager at the N3 toll concession, Tanya Dugro, joins us now. Very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us.
It's a pleasure to be here with you.
So far, what reports are you getting on how the weather has impacted motorists on the road?
Well, we've been very fortunate that there haven't been any closures on the N3 thus far. In fact, the South African Weather Services has revised their forecast and they are no longer predicting any snowfall on the N3 toll route. They are, however, still predicting that there will be snowfall in certain areas in KwaZulu-Natal. But we are still experiencing some misty conditions, rainy weather, as well as some areas of poor visibility and high winds.
Okay, so tell us about those areas that have been affected by these conditions.
Okay, well, the biggest area of concern is obviously Van Riemen's Pass, and that's especially because of the high winds and the poor visibility conditions. But pretty much it's wet and rainy on most of the route and overcast, and as visibility is quite poor, that tends to make it quite treacherous for motorists to drive. And as temperatures are cooling, especially at night, there's a high probability of black ice forming on the road, and that's extremely dangerous because it makes it really slippery for people to, travelers, and it's not easy for them to fit.
Have there been any accidents that have been recorded, any injuries?
There have been some incidents that have been recorded, nothing that's caused any significant disruption to the flow of traffic on the route. I unfortunately don't have any information about injuries at this stage.
But just tell us, what should people do should they find themselves in a desperate situation or in need of help?
Okay, well, traveling on the N3 toll route, the best thing to do is to call our N3 helpline. It's a 24/7 helpline, which you can reach on 0800 634357, and they will help to mobilize all of the emergency services. They are all on high alert, patrolling the route 24/7, ensuring that if motorists do need any assistance, they can speedily respond. But motorists should also ensure that they play their part. It's really important that they follow all the rules of the road, reduce their speed, increase their following distances, and make sure that they keep their headlights on. And also, for their own safety, if they feel that the conditions are too treacherous and it becomes dangerous, they can't see clearly, they should look for the nearest safe place, pull over and stop until it's safe for them to continue their journey.
So if one finds themselves on Van Riemen's Pass, obviously you'd advise people not to take it, but is there another way of circumventing that route using another one?
Well, for the time being, and at the moment, Van Riemen's is still open. So there's nothing that is preventing people from using the pass. As I said, they should just make sure that they travel and proceed with extreme caution and that they ensure that it's safe. Our variable message signs will post if the weather is, or the wind, is extremely high. And, again, motorists are cautioned that they must proceed with extreme caution in those areas.
So are you confident that the weather forecast, you said it's been better since the past couple of hours. Do you hope that this will continue, the improvement in weather conditions?
Well, we're obviously reliant on the South African Weather Services to keep us informed, but the information that we have received from them thus far is that the conditions have changed and they're no longer predicting any snow on the N3 toll road. So I'm sure that will be the case.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Operations Manager at the N3 Toll Concessions, Tanya Dugra. The Zondo Commission is expected to start wrapping up its